to the Footy Family Podcast. We're here for episode number 2. I'm your host, Nick Batowski, along with my sons, Luke and Axel. We're here to discuss all things regarding football, soccer, from an American perspective with a bent towards tactics and basically discussing things in a more nuanced way. Here today, we're going to review the World Cup matches that happened today on Monday the 29th, and then discuss the games coming up tomorrow on June 30th. But first off, I want to ask you both if there was some special person that you wanted to give a shout out to in terms of your development, since you're both great players, been on the U.S. futsal squad and the like, and obviously play at a high club level. Who would those one or two people be? Axel, why don't you go first? Is there someone you'd like to give a shout out to and thank?
I would like to thank Jack Saville, Rob Kieran, who we have the jersey for right here, and my club, North Bay Glens. I'm very excited for it, for the new season.
Yeah, none of you listeners will know, but Axel's been through his own health odyssey for the past 3 years, and he's just returning to footy. We're excited to have him back, and we're very grateful for the North Bay Glens to be that vehicle. Luke, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Just my club, De Anza. I'm grateful for the opportunities they've gave me.
Yeah, De Anza's been a great vehicle for you, and we're excited to have Coach Nick this year and see what you can do, playing hopefully a bunch of different positions and maturing underneath him. I think I'd like to thank both your clubs as well as Rob and Jack for being not only great coaches in terms of technical nuance and so on, but also just wonderful people to both my kids. So with that, that's a little shout out. Okay, let's get to our first game today. It was Brazil versus Japan. The FIFA ranked number 16 Brazil against Japan number 18. It ends. Did I say 6th?
16.
6th. Brazil was ranked number 6. Sorry, I misspoke. Anyway, the game ended today 2-1 in favor of Brazil with a 90+5 dramatic winner from Martinelli. Luke, thoughts on the match and how it went? Was it what you expected? What did you think?
Yes, it went how I expected. I thought Brazil were going to win. I also thought Japan defended well as a unit. I think in the first half, Japan actually looked better than Brazil. Obviously, they were winning 1-0. And then Brazil came to play in the second half and obviously scored 2 goals. Ancelotti made some changes, and it obviously led to a win.
Yeah, I said yesterday the secret weapon of Brazil is Don Carlo, the manager of Brazil. Axel, what'd you think?
I agree with Luke said. Japan seemed dominant in the first half. It did go a bit how I expected. Brazil winning, even though I thought it would be 1-0. Still 1 goal gap, but happy for Brazil, sad for Japan.
Yeah, I think, both goals happened. Luke, why don't you tell us about the Japan goal and what you think happened in the 29th minute here as Sano scored.
As I remember, it was
Danilo, right?
Yeah, it was out of the box. Well, Danilo gave it away. They counterattacked Sano. Somehow Sano got the ball.
Danilo gave it away in the center of the pitch by trying to make
it was like in the middle.
Right, in the middle of the pitch by trying to give away a pass into the center, which you're really you're taught not to do, especially when you're the right fullback. You lose it in the center.
Counterattacked, and Sano got the ball outside the box and shot it left bottom.
Yeah, Casemiro looked slow in his ability to recover, couldn't chase down Sano, and Sano scored right through the heart of Brazil's defense, where Marquinhos and Gabriel, neither one of them approached it. And I agree with you, Axel. Japan, I think, defended quite well and really throughout. They did my favorite thing. They did not lunge. They tackled when they were sure. But then tell us how Casemiro got back, leveled it for Brazil. Do you remember the header he did?
Yeah. I don't remember how it led up to the goal because I was on a walk.
I can tell you. Basically, they were passing around the box. They crossed it in and went back out. It transitioned to the other side. Gabriel got it. He crossed it into Casemiro.
Yeah.
And Casemiro headed it in.
Well,
yeah.
I know if there's any way that Casemiro would score, it'd be a header based off a season at United.
Actually, the second goal for Brazil.
Yeah, what tell us about it?
Bruno Guimaraes got it on the edge of the box. The Japan defenders thought he was going to shoot, but he faked them out and slipped it into Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah. Well,
Nice finish.
poor Tanaka from Leeds, attempted to kind of dribble it out, and then at the last minute tried to make a back pass, which was intercepted by Brazil. Pass to Bruno. Bruno goes to fake shoot, instead passes a great pass to Martinelli.
I must say,
who two-time
Suzuki had a
finishes.
good game. He had some good saves.
Yeah, the goalie for Japan was excellent, but in the end, I think the class of Brazil won out. So that's what it is.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I do think Suzuki.
Suzuki.
He had a
Keeper.
great tournament. He had some great saves.
Yeah, we're sad to see Japan, the last Asian team, go out of the tournament here. So.
Are we?
Yes.
Well, Japan was my dark horse in many ways, and it's a shame that they go out this early. This is where the World Cup used to start at 32 teams, and now we're down. We're down a great team, Japan. But that's a good segue because we're also down Germany. Let's talk about this upset. Germany 1-1 at full time with Paraguay, and then they lost on penalties 3-4. Obviously, I'm wearing a Paraguay hat and kit. We got the benefit of seeing Paraguay play live here in Santa Clara. None of us are particular German fans, so I mean, long story short, do you guys agree? I mean, Germany just didn't do enough. They didn't create enough. Their XG was just 1.5, and Paraguay.
They had
Parked
about 80% possession.
They did, but it's what they did with it, right? Which
Yeah,
is not
it's
much.
like Turkey in the beginning.
I
so like
Turgid.
low block Paraguay, and they just can't get better chances.
I
Good enough
think
chances.
I think Julian Nagelsmann got this wrong. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
from the beginning that the Jordi Jesus and Waltamata
I
should have
love
been in
Waltamata.
sooner.
Musiala injury.
Undov starting was a mistake, and Musiala didn't start. Like, what's with that?
I just want to say one thing. The last podcast, these aren't my exact words. I said Germany could win by a lot, or I said they could win by a little, which obviously wrong. But when I said they would win by a little, I said they'd play a very boring game, which they did. It was not fun to watch, especially because Germany's got some
But
class players on their team.
yeah, but the surprise here, obviously, is that Germany, for the first time in a World Cup tournament, lost on PKs. So we won't take you through each kick. You can go back and watch the extended highlights if you're interested. But essentially, Neuer did make a good save. But Paraguay was just more deadly in terms of their takes, and their Paraguayan keeper Gil was good. What comment would you like to say?
Gil had 7 times the amount of touches Undov had.
Yeah.
He had 9 touches. The keeper had 64.
Yeah. So Paraguay got their tactics right, and they advance, and it's good for the U.S. The U.S. This is a team that the U.S. beat 4-1, and they beat Germany on penalties. Axel, one last comment about this game.
I want to say, if you are a fan of any team, like if say you're a fan of Sweden, tell my dad to wear a France shirt because he wore a Germany kit all the way up to the last 2 penalties.
Yeah, basically the kit that I wore for each game,
lost.
that team lost. In this household, we actually had managed to get, I think, 42 or 43 of 40 of the 42 teams. We got their kits. I think we're missing. Actually,
Iran.
we're missing. Oh, sorry. We're missing 6. But who cares? The listeners. We got most of the kits that we could. And today I tried to wear them, and for each team I wore, they lost. Anyway, moving on. Let's look. I wore the Dutch kit. They lost on penalties. 1-1 was the final score right at the end of regulation and end of extra time here against Morocco. The 8th seed Dutch against the 7th seed Moroccans. Moroccans move on penalties, winning 3-2 on PKs. It was good to see Gakpo score in the 72nd minute, and then Diop from Fulham ties it for Morocco on a header at the last dying breaths. And then extra time, frankly, was quite boring, with the Dutch deciding to basically not play football. And I think, karmically speaking, Ronald Koeman should be booted and fired, and the Dutch should move on to someone who's going to allow them to play, because I was quite disappointed at seeing the Netherlands try not to lose, and in doing so, essentially lose. Go ahead.
I just want to say that sad Netherlands got out. They did deserve it a little bit because, of course,
Morocco was the better team.
Yeah, Morocco
tonight.
was the better team. they did get a little unlucky on penalties, where Van Bruggen saved
Almost
the ball.
saved, yeah, but it went
And
underneath
it
him.
went underneath him, and he hit it in with his heel.
But just some statistics here for you guys, those people who like stats. Morocco XG on target 2.23, Netherlands 0.17. So Morocco deserved to win this game. They had more possession, more passes. Morocco had 878 completed passes to the 373 from the Dutch. This is not how the Dutch are supposed to play football. Johan Cruyff rolled over in his grave tonight. I am deeply, deeply saddened by how the Dutch approached this game. They played, they scored, and then they went into a shell of some kind. Luke, anything to add about that?
I don't know why he changed the formation in the knockout game. They played four
yeah,
center backs.
Yeah, from the get-go, and it kind of worked. They scored the first goal, obviously, and then seemed to clam up and just try and win and go for, the win. And defensively, obviously, that turned against them. And here we are with Morocco moving on. I think it's good. That
like
Morocco's the next co-hosts. I think that personally, you have to play to win, and if you don't play to win, you're risking it. So, okay, anyway, we'll move on to the 3 games for tomorrow and briefly highlight them. We did a broader highlight review yesterday that was through all the remaining round of 32, but today we'll go into slightly more detail and just remind you what's on tap for tomorrow. First is the Ivory Coast versus Norway, the 33rd ranked Ivory Coast versus the 31st ranked Norwegians. Obviously, we don't know the lineups and such yet, but this is Erling Haaland against Ahmad. How do you see this going again, Axel? Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it's going to be close? What's going to happen here?
I think Ivory Coast could definitely play a close game, but I think Norway will edge it out. I think that will happen because Erling Haaland's a powerhouse, and I think the whole Norwegian team could physically outplay the
Ivory Coast.
Yeah, Ivory Coast, and I just think they had. I think they had a harder group, and they played well in that. So I think Norway wins.
We'll see. Luke, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow with Ivory Coast versus Norway, the first matchup?
I think, as I said in the last podcast, if Diomede shows up, Ivory Coast will win. If Haaland shows up, Norway will win. You bet more on Haaland, so I think Norway will win. But I can see it go both ways.
I think this finishes 2-1 to Norway. I think Norway probably scores first, maybe even scores their first 2. Ivory Coast get a consolation goal. I just think the quality through Norway is just that much better, in large part because they have Odegaard and Haaland playing, and Ivory Coast has Ahmad and Diomande, but I'm not sure where else that quality comes from, and Diomande is only 18 years old, so we'll see what happens. All right, second game tomorrow I think is almost a foregone conclusion. My 3rd ranked France is going to play the 38th ranked Sweden. I'll go first here. I just think France is going to dominate this game from start to finish. They've looked unbelievably good. We know that Deschamps, their France manager's mom, died last week. They're going to rally behind him as he returns to camp. I just don't see Sweden having the quality to put up with the French attack. And though Swedes have Gyökeres and Isak, and to a degree, Elonga's looked quite good. I just don't see them having
better than he was for Newcastle.
Yeah, better than he was for Newcastle. Why is that? Eddie Howe would like to know. Anyway, I think this finishes 3-0 France. Luke?
I think it finishes 5-1 France. I just don't see them losing. I can see them maybe conceding a couple at the start, just being egotistic, and then switching on and scoring.
Yeah,
a lot more goals.
Mbappe, Olise, Doué, Dembele. I mean, what quality of those top 4? Axel, how do you see this game going?
You guys said it, 5-1.
Yeah.
Not
Not much to add there. I think the game of the day, frankly, is the
No.
the last game. This is at the Azteca, and Mexico versus Ecuador in the Azteca. Mexico's only lost 2 games in the Azteca. It's the second to last penultimate game in Mexico. Mexico is the 14th ranked FIFA team, Ecuador 23rd. I think Mexico is going to be up for this. And though I think there are probably more players on Ecuador that the American audience will know, like Caicedo or Pacho,
Valencia.
even Enner Valencia and Hincapié from Arsenal fame, Angulo from Sunderland.
Yep, Sunderland.
I just don't know where the goals for Ecuador come, and I don't know that Ecuador will have enough belief to get over 60,000+ people in the Azteca cheering on the Mexicans. And I think Raul Jimenez will lead them to victory. I think this ends 1-0 Mexico. Axel, what do you think is going to happen?
As much as I'd like to see Ecuador advance, I think Mexico win because I think they'll be up for it, and Ecuador won't be as much as they are, and obviously they're a hosting nation.
Luke, any thoughts on this Ecuador versus Mexico?
I also want Ecuador to go through. It's unfair that it's in Mexico.
Yeah, it's a home game for Mexico, and obviously to remind our audience, Ecuador finished second in South American qualifying, I think only 3 points behind Argentina,
And
despite
third in
having
the
a
group.
3-point point deduction for reasons I don't remember off the top of my head. So Ecuador is very good, but I think the reality is they scored only 14 goals in qualifying, and that's been their handicap. They're defensively super tight. Sebastian, Bichette, their coach, is awesome to watch on the sideline with his looks and blonde hair and outfits. But I hope they win, but I hope they lose at the same time, because I think it's kind of good for Mexico to move on for the sake of the tournament. But we'll see.
I also think I want Ecuador to win, but I would not be mad at all to see Mexico win because I think they'll play a more exciting game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's today and tomorrow. We'll be back at you tomorrow to review tomorrow's games and highlight those games on July 1st. Why don't we end with your highlight of the day, Luke? What's your favorite memory of today?
My highlight of today is Bruno Guimaraes, the king of assists this World Cup, getting his 4th assist.
Axel, what's your highlight of the day?
My highlight of the day is watching Tall absolutely smash the ball over the bar.
Yeah, my highlight of the day was the ability to watch the Dutch take on Morocco with friends and family while we all ate dinner and had shared some good times and memories. That's what this tournament is all about. So we hope we're bringing you joy and a little bit of a brief review of the World Cup where you can get little tidbits of information that are helpful for you to understand the game. Please join us again. And as I said yesterday and will continue to say, always call it football. Football is life. Football is
Football
life.
is
Oh
life.
my
Football
God.
is
life.
My son's living.
We haven't
hanging.
watched Ted Lasso in like 10 years, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow.